shit. Ah, damn, those whoops are fun. Oh, there goes the chain. Oh, god damn. There goes the chain. Yeah. Let's see, maybe we can just put this thing back on. Damn, that's a first. I haven't had the chain pop off on this thing ever. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today's video, we're gonna be actually fixing and doing a little bit of work to the $100 mini bike. So you guys probably seen in the beginning clip where we took this thing out with the off-road mini quad as well. We ended up breaking that thing and then ended up ripping this thing around for a while, hitting some whoops, and eventually I think with the tire just kind of slamming down, getting some air, kind of just ended up tweaking the whole engine, and actually kind of tweaked the whole engine enough where it kind of pulled it out of place. So you can see I'm missing a bolt right there. So I was only running 3 motor mounts on this thing, and I really need to fix that because this is what happens. It tweaked the whole motor sideways and just kind of threw the whole chain off and ended up starting to throw the chain whenever we were riding it. So kind of just called it at that point. And the more I'm looking at it, it's gonna need a few more things as well. So I ended up just picking up some brand new hardware for the motor mounts that have some locking nuts, so we shouldn't have to worry about the motor tweaking or doing this all again with actually 4 motor mounts in there. And then the more I'm looking at it, it might be kind of hard to see, but we got a couple little hard links in this chain, so I really want to get this thing all lubed up, or maybe even replace it if I can. I might have some sitting on the shelf, but we'll see. At least get this thing all lubed up so we don't have any hard spots anymore. And then the more I've been thinking about it, this bike has always been just kind of the reliable bike. I kind of just throw anyone on, and it is the fastest toy of them all, especially how many toys I got right now. This thing goes like 45, 46. I might be able to throw the top speed clip I did when we actually played with all the gearing on this thing in here real quick for you guys. The low end is not there, but it'll be alright. I guess we'll see how long this clutch lasts. So that is not good. This thing just keeps going and going. Let's see what that top speed was. 46.3. Okay, so 46 is the top speed for this setup. I'm pretty happy with that. But I'm pretty sure this thing went like 45, 46 miles per hour, and it is just a little too fast for a bike that I just kind of throw anyone on for the first time, especially since it's just an easy rider and it's a nice cruiser. So I kind of want to slow it down a little bit, but also add a little bit of low end torque, because it really doesn't have much low end pickup at all. So I actually have this clutch right here that has a bigger tooth sprocket on it. So I actually want to swap this outer casing onto this clutch here, and maybe have to extend the chain or whatever, so we can get a little bit extra torque out of it, and we'll feel it out, maybe see what the top speed is from that point. It is currently like a hurricane outside because I live in Florida, so we'll see if we can get a run in today once we all get this thing all fixed up, but we'll see. But hopefully it should add a little bit more torque, and once I actually get it pulled off, I'll kind of compare the two and show you guys. You guys might see this thing in the background. I did pick this thing up for a good deal. We're gonna be working on it in Friday's video, at least in this week, and you guys will see it on Friday. So stay tuned for that. I know I got a bunch going on, but it was just a deal I couldn't pass up, so I had to pick it up, and it's gonna be pretty sweet, and I got some cool ideas with it. So enough jibber jabber, let's get to work. I think I'm gonna start pulling out all the motor mount bolts, getting those swapped over, and then we'll probably have to pull off the chain and get the clutch off there and get to work on that. So you guys just saw, we got the $100 mini bike all torn down, and then even replaced the motor mount bolts inside of there. So got all new bolts and lock nuts all the way around. Just my luck, I ended up actually buying the wrong size hardware. I bought it one size up, but we are building the micro go-kart right now, and I've been stocking up on some hardware for that thing. As you can tell, I've been liking zinc lately. So stocked up on that. So luckily I was able to snag a few bolts from that, get this actually bolted on. and we got the chain all pulled off and the clutches as well. And looking at the chain here, there's a bunch of little hard spots all the way up it, so we might need to replace it if I have enough, but I might just be able to lube it all up and kind of free it all up if I can. And now that I got both clutches next to each other, you can see how big the sprocket difference is. So this is a 13 tooth here, and the stock one that we had on there was a 10 tooth. So this should give us a little bit more low end torque, take away a little bit of the top speed as well, but that should be all right since this thing's not really meant to go 50 and just kind of throwing anyone on it. So other than that, we can knock that out real quick. Hopefully just swap these little snap rings and just kind of swap these covers right over each other, no problem. And then the more I've been looking at this, I might be able to hook up the light that's actually been on this thing forever, because I have all the wiring for it and I have batteries. I might need to 3D print a little drill battery adapter inside the box here so we can actually mount the battery up, but have a little switch on here or something. But I might be able to kind of wire it all up and then 3D print the battery adapter later and kind of just install it off camera, but at least get it all wired up and actually see the light on and have a light on this thing for once. So we might get into that a little bit later, but let's get all the motor work finished up and actually get this thing running and driving again, and then maybe we could work on a little bit of that. So I ended up getting the bike all back together, and you might notice I have the existing clutch that we had on it from basically stock, because this clutch that I was trying to use is not a 420 chain. I gotta figure out what sprocket this is. For some reason it is a weird one, and it's not a 420 chain, but it's big enough where it looks like it. So that's what I was thinking, but it did not end up fitting, which is all right. So I'll probably end up ordering up a bigger clutch in the future, look online and see what I can find, and also order up a brand new chain as well, because I'm probably gonna have to lengthen it, and this one's definitely seen some days. I'm still gonna lube it up to see if I can try to get some of these knots out just for the meantime, but she should be all right. Everything's all tightened up, so she's basically a running and driving machine at this point. So now I actually want to start working on seeing if we can get this headlight all wired in. So it basically should just be a positive and negative. Most of the wiring is still in here from whenever I got this thing. It was already Predator swapped, so I don't have any of the wiring coming out of the motor, and this thing doesn't have a stator at all. So we're gonna have to wire in a battery. So that's what I'm thinking, is kind of wiring in a battery up in this box here. So I just kind of looking, I got a battery, one of my drill batteries, kind of test fitted up in there, see how it fit, and it fit right next to the snorkel there. So that's kind of my idea. And then maybe having a switch kind of like right in this little section or down here somewhere, just a little toggle switch to flip it on and off whenever there's a battery in it. Something super simple. So I'm gonna end up pulling this box off real quick so then we can get an idea of what we're looking at, see all the wiring down there, and then start routing some wires in there, maybe drill some holes, get the switch mounted up, and see where we get knocked out. So I've been working away. I ended up pulling off the box here just to get an idea of what wiring I have. So I got some wires coming up from the light going into this control box here with this little plug, and then off of that I also have two random wires that were just coming off. So I thought these were positive and negative, hooked a battery up to them, and the light came on, so we're good to go there. So I ended up just starting to work away on the box itself, drilled a hole for a little switch here, so now we got a switch to actually turn the light on and off, and then I got a positive wire and a negative wire in here to actually connect up to the battery. And on the bottom side here I also got a plug for a negative and a positive, so I just literally have the switch running in line of the negative, so we don't have any power running through the switch itself, and then the positive is literally just straight to the battery. Pretty straightforward setup. And then I also ended up finishing up my snorkel kit by adding a little vent tube for the gas tank as well. So finally finish up this thing completely. So I'm gonna actually bolt this right up real quick, get everything all hooked up, and then we can finally test this thing out. All right, so I just wrapped up everything, got the box reinstalled on the bike, and got everything all hooked up. So you can see the snorkel with the nice little vent tube coming out the gas tank. Everything's nice, looking clean. And then I got the 2 wires plugged in on the bottom here. I already know I'm probably gonna end up taking this thing back off to mount the battery adapter inside of there once we actually get that 3 printed up, and I do that off camera. So I'll probably just leave that for now and then kind of zip tie everything up as I go, but we can still test it out. So I'm actually gonna flip the switch on here. I got a little battery here. Let me see if I can do this all one-handed. This is gonna be a little tricky. There we go. And we got light. You can see her lighting up. You can kind of see it flat. There we go. Kind of turn it on and off so you can see that thing is lighting up. She is nice and bright, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let me double check if the switch works. And the switch does work, so we're good to go there. Pretty happy about that. And it came out super clean. I like how we're gonna keep everything inside this box here, and we're really not gonna see any wiring at all, especially once we actually tuck this right up inside of there. Should be nice and clean, no problem. So pretty happy with today's progress. Actually fixing up the $100 mini bike. Probably gonna end up cutting this video at this point. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Fixing a $100 mini bike, getting this thing 100% ready back on the road, and actually hooking up the lights as well. So that was pretty sweet. We did try to do a gear change on it, but didn't end up working. So I'll probably look into that in the future. And I would also like to get an exhaust on this thing, because this is the only toy with a stock exhaust still. So I might look into one of the exhausts that kind of come down and kind of ride parallel with the bottom of the frame, or one that kind of kicks over to the other side. Something that has a muffler, just kind of keep this thing quiet still. But other than that, pretty happy with today's progress. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hope you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and peace out. Well, there goes the chain.